Hello, and welcome to this video on how to use the Historical Gazetteer of Crimea Harvard Dataverse repository. Here we are at the HGC Dataverse homepage. The purpose of this video is to show you how to navigate through the Dataverse, and specifically the Gazetteer section and the Base Maps section. We will not be describing the HGC per se, but at the HGC Dataverse homepage, you can go here to get a detailed description. We'll start by providing a brief general description of the Harvard Dataverse repository, and then move on to how the HGC Dataverse in particular is structured within this repository. In short, the Harvard Dataverse repository is a free, secure, open source repository that allows researchers to share, publish, and preserve data sets across various disciplines. It's a pretty safe bet that this repository will be around for a while. For the purposes of this video, the main thing to know about the repository is that it is constructed of dataverses and data sets. Data sets hold the actual data that you are storing. Dataverses are like folders in that they contain data sets. Here is the structure of the HGC Dataverse. We see that under the top level HGC Dataverse, we have a Gazetteer Dataverse and a Base Maps Dataverse. These are the dataverses that you go to when you click on the associated buttons on the HGC Dataverse home site. Let's look inside the Gazetteer Dataverse. Within the Gazetteer Dataverse, there are 4 subdataverses. One for habitations, one for districts, one for provinces, and one for rivers. Each of these dataverses has 3 data sets. A shapefile dataset that can be opened in GIS applications like ArcGIS and QGIS. An open data spreadsheet file that can be opened in applications such as Excel and LibreCalc. And a KMZ dataset that can be opened in applications such as Google Earth. It should be mentioned that the 4 HGC Gazetteer datasets all have the same 17 fields, as detailed in the description linked on the Gazetteer database homepage. With that structure in mind, let's see how this works for the HGC Gazetteer Dataverse. We see that the Gazetteer Dataverse provides access to the habitations, districts, provinces, and rivers dataverses. Drilling down into the habitations dataverse, for example, we see the shapefile, the ODS file, and the KMZ file that contain HGC habitation data. The structures of the districts, provinces, and rivers dataverses follow this form. Now, for example, if we click on the habitations shapefile, we get access to the zip folder containing the habitations files needed to open a shapefile layer in applications such as ArcGIS and QGIS. Opening this zip file in QGIS, we see the HGC habitations, here shown on an OpenStreetMap. Opening the attribute table for the habitation layer, we see the first part of the habitations dataset with the standard HGC fields format. As you might expect, the shapefile datasets for all 4 Gazetteer dataverses can be opened in QGIS and related apps, with the habitations and provinces layers shown here, along with the province attribute table in the standard HGC field format. For your information, Here is a portion of the HGC Habitations Open Data Spreadsheet file in standard HGC field format, and the KMZ file with full HGC data in standard field format for one entry in the Habitations dataset. We will now touch on the HGC Basemaps Dataverse. The Basemaps Dataverse has a dataset showing the course of rivers in Crimea as traced from OpenStreetMaps, and a Crimea terrain elevation layer. Examining the rivers dataset, we see a shapefile and a KMZ file. We'll return to these in a moment. The Crimea terrain elevation dataset contains a terrain elevation TIFF format file. Here are the rivers shapefile and the terrain elevation TIFF file opened in QGIS. And here is the OpenStreetMap Crimea Rivers KMZ file opened in Google Earth. In conclusion, note that all of the materials in the HGC Dataverse are in the public domain and covered by this agreement. Thank you for watching this video on how to use the HGC Harvard Dataverse repository. Hopefully the video, and more importantly the historical Gazetteer of Crimea, will be helpful to you.